you guys like being outdoors, having a good time, and moderate physical activity. These days, a lot of kids are just sitting inside, playing video games, sitting on their phones. The obesity epidemic's through the roof. Just not a lot of kids are outside. Well, those are kind of the things that hooked me to disc golf. I think I started playing in about 6th grade. I'm not really physically gifted by any means, so I wasn't really good at any other sports. Couldn't play football, couldn't play hockey. Tried soccer, but that burned me out. Tried baseball. I wasn't tall enough, wasn't big enough. So my friends introduced me to disc golf. There's a low physical demand for the sport. It's easy, everybody can play it. So disc golf, it actually has a rich history. It's budding out of the 1970s, like many other frisbee sports. And it also became quickly popular on college campuses. Most college campuses are actually going to have a partial disc golf course. One of those college campuses is actually your own UW Parkside. Many people know that our campus has one course. There's actually two. A lot of people don't know that. The sport's rising quickly, and the best part is, like I said, it's a low physical demand. Everybody can play. So just for a little history, the sport started with a man named Ed Hedrick. Many people in the disc golf community call him Steady Ed. He was actually an employee of the Wham-O toy company, and a lot of people also probably don't know this, is the term frisbee is actually trademarked by Wham-O. So some people are just going to call this a frisbee. It's technically not. The term frisbee is going to be your typical beach frisbee profile, nice and floaty, nice and light, like the disc that people play ultimate frisbee with. So, in an interview with the PDGA, or the Professional Disc Golf Association, Jim Palmieri, who is PDGA number 23, was interviewed about the history of disc golf. He was also a great friend of Ed's, and he was asked the question, who first played disc golf? When was it started? And this is what Jim had to say. Sorry, but this turns out to be an impossible thing to answer. There are many historical accounts of people playing disc golf, but those all predate the plastic flying disc, because they could have been playing with, a pie tin or a garbage lid or a paper plate, but those all happen in different parts of the world. Nobody knew that everybody was also playing it, so it's really hard to tell, when it was first played. But what is known is that Ed Hedrick patented the frisbee in 1966. He got the idea for the frisbee when he saw a group of college kids tossing around a pie lid from the Frisbee Pie Company, which is actually spelled F-R-I-S-B-I-E, and the trademark term for frisbee is F-R-I-S-B-E-E. Not long after he patented the frisbee, he also patented called the disc golf pole hole, which is not what we refer to them as. They are called baskets. It's a little less provocative. So, he introduced it, and then Wham-O actually put out a newsletter, and Jim Palmieri had a group of friends in New York who played it, and they got a hold of the newsletter, and he contacted Ed Hedrick about putting together a tournament for disc golf. And Ed Hedrick talked to Wham-O, and they had already held the World Frisbee Championships for other sports, like Ultimate, and there's a game where you throw it at a stick and try to hit the stick. There's a competition for that too, so we brought up the idea of a disc golf tournament. And in 1975, they held the first World Frisbee Disc Golf Championship. Ever since then, it's been loved by a lot of people. It's rapidly growing. Like I said earlier, it's a great way to stay active. It's actually very comparative to ball golf. The object of the game is to get the lowest score. Although it's comparative, it's a lot cheaper. In ball golf, you need a really expensive bag. You need a set of clubs that can range from $500 to $2,000. You have to pay sometimes upwards of $80 in course fees when you get there. You have to dress in a collared shirt, dress pants, belt, specific shoes, and you got to pay for the golf cart. In disc golf, all you need, technically you only need one disc, They make different varieties of discs. You know, in regular ball golf, you have your putters, your woods, your irons, and then your distance drivers. Well, in disc golf, you have your putters, which are used for shorter distances. You have a question? And then you have your mid-range, which are like your irons, and then you have your distance drivers, which are like your regular distance drivers. Most courses are in the woods for disc golf, and they're free to play, which is one of the best parts. And since they are in the woods, you're going to be doing a lot of walking. I've personally played a course that's been on 1 acre of land, and then I've personally played on a course that's been on 400 acres of land. So it can get pretty tiring, especially if you're playing a tournament. You're there all day, 2 rounds. I played one last night. I was drained by the end of the day. But it's a great way to stay in shape. You know, you're not doing any running by any means, so sometimes when you're out there, you're playing, you're having fun, you're not even noticing that you're doing any type of physical activity at all. Like I said, also, it's very popular among college students. So we do have a course here at UW Parkside. It's very free to play. It's located on the west side of campus, in between Wood Road and the roundabout, kind of in the woods there. It spans all the way across. It starts over by the roundabout and it ends over by Greenquist Hall. The only thing you technically need is a parking pass, which all of you, I would hope, should have, but if you don't have one, then you can easily purchase one at Talent Hall. So we do have that course, and then we have another course that is behind Talent Hall that not a lot of people know about. It was put in as a temp course because the main course used to be on the other side of campus, and they removed it. And while they were removing it, they put the course in behind Talent Hall so people would have something to play, and then they put this course in, and they just never removed the old course. So that course is still there, albeit unplayable because of all the foliage and the rough. We've just started recently taking out the baskets from the back course and putting them into the main course to improve it and increase holes. It's free to play. We hold leagues every Friday for students only at 2 p.m. All you have to do is show up and you can play. It's fun. It's easy to learn. Disc golf's a growing sport with an illustrious history. It's easy to play. It's fun. It's a great way to stay in shape. I hope to see you guys out there because you know that's where I'll be.